Hi guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Watching this video and watch the next video. ICE is going after people just opposing them now. Basically, ICE went after this white woman. This face is ugly because my hatred towards politicians just increase. Mostly because they're going after people that are born in this country, America, and they going after people who's legal and opposes them. That's one of, I'm going to be real, that's one of the biggest worries, which means this just turns into ground zero for anyone who opposes them, which will probably, I don't want to be that guy, but it's going to basically be a nightmare for people and basically everyone involved for the next few years, because a certain dipshit president decides, hey, let's start killing people, whoever opposes us. I kind of have a feeling that a direction we're going. But not this soon. And you guys wondered why I ever hate politicians. Mostly this is why. They cause conflict without any reason. I'm trying to not crash the fuck out right now because that means I sort of will show you I'm not perfect. Well, how can I say that better? That show you my dark side. My dark side of my personality, dark side. That anytime I literally have negative emotions, And not to scare you guys, I don't think the politicians and the elites and stuff like that are playing around anymore. That hat is actually been with my bloodline since that hat been with my bloodline since 1930s to now. Listen. ICE blocked a ambulance from a woman to a woman that ICE shot at. Because basically, ICE is now... Listen. ICE is just basically the Marines of basically One Piece, because the Marines are kind of evil in One Piece. And they protect the celestial dragons, which are the rich and powerful. Listen. Also, the banks control... Okay. The bank and the Rothschilds. I have a theory on this, but it might actually be a thing. The banks and Rothschilds basically controls the money. You're telling me this isn't a rip-off world that God got inspired to build from One Piece? I know One Piece is supposed to be a reflection of the real world, but yeah, something tells me there's like Emu. Listen. Emu is the secret ruler of the world. What if some of the governments has their own emu? I mean, emu is basically... I had this theory that the Vatican is hiding the devil. The Vatican hiding the devil or the devil's son inside the Vatican. And I feel like I should tell you, the devil's son named crap. I never been able to been good with the name because there's this theory. Well, wasn't originally my theory, but I sort of add on to it. What if Vatican City, what if the secret ruler of the world, like Emu, is some type of basically if I remember correctly, I have a book about the Freemasons. Yes, the Freemasons and Illuminati. Basically, hold on. Well, 15. The sun god returns. The two Jesus children. The cosmic mission. The crucifixion in South Africa. Well, the crucifixion in South America. The mystic marriage of Mary Magdalene. Chapter 15 of the secret history of the world. In Palestine, a great turning point in the history of the world had been reached because the gods were no longer experienced as out there in the material world. It was necessary for the sun god, the word, to descend to the earth, as we are about to see. His would become the arena for spiritual experience. This planting would give rise to the sense we all have today, that we each have inside an inner space. The cosmic plan had been that human spirits should attend individually, should be able to think freely, to exercise free will, and no denser until each invisible spirit was finally isolated inside its own skull. Humans thought and will was then no longer wholly controlled by the gods, angels, and spirits, as it had been 1,000 years earlier at the siege of Troy. Anyways, the Illuminati and the rise of unreason, the Illuminati and the battle for the soul of Freemasonry, the occult roots of the French Revolution, Napoleon's Star, the occultism, and the rise of novels. Anyways, basically, back to the sun god. When humanity would reach out to the sun god, when freedom of thought and will, as it had failed to do the first time he came, the secret history of the world from the late 16th century to 19th century is dominated by the work behind the scene of the great ascended masters of Western tradition, Enoch and Elijah. And by preparation for the descent from the sky of the archangel of the sun and beyond, this for the descent of a greater being, they were preparing the way for the second coming. As the 8th century progressed, sightings of the 18th century progressed, the sightings of the mysterious count became a rarer but a mood optimism and expectant failed the load of the secret societies. In French, the unknown philosopher Saint-Martin was teaching that every man is a king. Anyways, blah blah blah. I think the king part is more spiritual aspect, more spiritual truth. Enlightened mind. Let's just do that. Anyways, the mystical sexual revolution. Basically, if I am remembering this correctly, The mystical sexual revolution, the conjured ritual, I don't know how to spell it, Carger, I don't know how to spell that one, the secret identity of the Comte de Street German, I don't really know. The only thing is the secret identity is, yeah. Swedenborg, Blake, and the sexual roots of romanticism. Basically, it's basically this revolution some spiritual revolution of sexuality and basically a revolution on a spiritual revolution about sexual stuff. I can say that much. Oh yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the Antichrist re-entering the ancient woods, the Masora Buddha, the opening of the 7 seals, the New Jerusalem, Okay, here's the thing. Postscript. Is the Antichrist already here? There is an ancient tradition that just as 2,000 years ago, Christ incarnate, so in our time, Satan will be incarnate. This incarnation is going to bring about globe upheaval. Recently, there been a riot of speculation. Basically, the age of Aquarius okay, yeah, that's going to be it.
Nope, you're right.
Bye, guys.